Hello again everyone, Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be deviating from my usual Taurus rising routine and the monotony, I guess you could say somewhat of my house ruler videos. What I wanted to talk about, it's connected with a statement that I make towards the end of my videos, and also somebody wrote me something, commented on one of my videos, which kind of made me feel compelled to talk about this. When I say towards the end of my videos, the stars may impel but do not compel, the thing is, somebody wrote me very recently, and they asked, well, if my chart, something to the effect of my chart is negative or very negative, what is the purpose in living? Well, firstly, I want to touch base on this, is that, I think what's paramount to remember is that, like I say, the stars may impel, but they do not compel. We are in control of our own destiny. If somebody has a chart that has predominantly negative aspects in it, or elements, I should say, it's not the end of the world. It's not catastrophic. When you have somebody that has a lot of negative aspects in their chart, it could indicate that this person might encounter a lot of adversity and obstructions and obstacles in the course of one's life. But it doesn't mean it can't be worked through. I mean, there are some good aspects about negative aspects. One of them being that if you have a plethora of negative aspects in your chart, you can, if you work through them and conquer, the negative effects of these aspects, then, it enables you to become a stronger person due to the fact you were able to deal with adversity and work through it. Sometimes a chart that has an overabundance of positive aspects, it looks auspicious on the surface, but at the same time, remember that, sometimes when things are too easy, people have the tendency to become complacent, and that is negative. In that, somebody, let's say they have a lot of preponderance of negative aspects, but they have a strong amount of fixed energy in the horoscope. To me, obviously people that have the fixed energy may be able to work through it a little better, because due to the willpower and that fixed single-minded purpose that correlates with fixed signs, if somebody has a lot of negative aspects in their chart and they have a lot of mutable energy, obviously mutable is adaptable, that is one good element of that, but the mutable signs have the propensity or proclivity toward worry. So obviously that could be like a double whammy, but it doesn't mean it can't be worked through, because people with a lot of mutable energy and say negative elements and aspects in their chart have that ability, to be adaptable and pliable, and therefore they might have the, let's convert lemons to lemonade philosophy on the adversities that they go through in their, that's connected with their horoscope. Another thing I want to touch up on, which is, I guess you could say it's connected with what I'm stating here, is that, don't use astrology as the ends of all means to ascertain what you're going to do on a day-to-day basis. People often like to consult their daily horoscope to see what the forecast reads for them. Well, I honestly don't do that very often, because I think it can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you start looking at your daily horoscope very religiously, you might, at least on a subconscious level, be doing what it's saying in there, in these forecasts. So, I kind of have the tendency more to look at the daily forecasts near the completion of the day, just to see maybe if it fit or not. Like for instance, I moved recently, right? And what I thought was interesting and intriguing was that I looked, maybe 3 to 7 days after I had actually moved. And I noticed that on the day that I moved, Saturn, the planet of restriction and limitation, had basically not just traversed my 7th house cusp, it actually touched it almost pretty much exactly, or within one, I guess you could say 1 second of arc is what I'm going to try. I guess that's how I'm going to verbalize that. I think that's what that is. It's a second of arc, or precisely on that exact degree, with the degrees and the seconds of arc. And I have certain partners. I say not partnerships in this case, but certain friendships, which aren't necessarily going to be eradicated because of this move, but they're going to be somewhat limited because I'm in a different city right now than I was previously. I will still be in contact with many of these people, but it won't be at the frequency that it once had. So I just wanted to basically state this and let people understand that just because there might be some negative energy in your horoscope, don't let it become all-encompassing, and don't give up on life because of it. Don't let astrology dictate your every minutia, every movement you make, because you don't want anything in life to become all-encompassing. And don't get me wrong, a lot of the elements astrology is very, very accurate, but don't let it dictate the course of your life and monopolize it at the same time. We all make our own decisions in life, and sometimes the decisions could be made due to some astrological reason. Other times it's because we are compelled to do certain things, based on who we are, as people, based on our upbringing, and things that are hereditary, that are connected with our family, etc. So culture, religion, or what have you. So that's basically what I want to touch up on. And this video is not, I always like to get views, don't get me wrong, but this is really not about me trying to get any great inordinate amount of views or anything like that, or increase any notoriety or self-aggrandizing reasons. I wanted to do this because I do care, and I don't want people to become in a perpetual state of despair due to the fact that they have some negative elements, or a number of negative elements in their horoscope, because that's not the end of the world if you have that. And one last thing I want to touch up on, somebody has a lot of negative elements in their chart, say attributed to negative aspects, or planets that are placed in their detriment or fall by their sign or house or what have you. What I would suggest is, this part is from an astrological vantage point, accentuate the positive aspects and elements in your horoscope, and the negative things may be since you have some insight through the negative aspects or what have you, what to work on, and you can work on those elements, but try to emphasize the positive. I have a plethora of negative things in my horoscope. My Venus is poorly aspected. It makes a square to my Saturn. It squares my ascendant and makes a long square to my Neptune. So therefore I've had certain restrictions and disillusionment connected with love, and love has not come easy for me, but I'm still here, and I'm not going to jump off a cliff because of that. So I suggest that no one else ever does that, due to the fact they might feel in their mind, or based on factually what they believe, that they have a negative horoscope. So anyway, people, I just wanted to get with you on that, and until the next after this video, I will continue with my house rulers series. And 2 things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, no surprise, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis on a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because a person astrologically is the sum of all their components in their natal horoscope, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.